At the Honeymoon Acres Greenhouse in New Holstein, one employee is cutting ribbons for holiday wreaths. The greenhouse typically sells between 16 and 18,000 wreaths a year. This year, that might not happen.
It's been very difficult trying to find employees. You'll hear this everywhere, and you're noticing it with people cutting hours out and such.
Honeymoon Acres also provides wreaths for different groups to sell for fundraising.
We really seriously have to look at who we're going to do and who we're not going to do, because we just cannot find employees that want to do this style of work or any kind of work, actually.
Fewer employees means fewer wreaths and fewer fundraising opportunities. Owner Joe McShaw says the shortage of workers is only part of the problem.
Because the other half of the problem is being able to get the greens to bake the wreaths from. There's been a shortage out there of that, because there again, the same thing's happening to the people that producing the greens for me can't find the workers to get it picked.
Honeymoon Acres says it's like a ripple effect, not just affecting the wreaths, but other crops as well.
Like Christmas trees.
I've typically sold 400 trees roughly a year, and now I only got a supplier to supply me 150 trees this year.
McShaw says the worker shortage is widespread.
Some of the guys are retiring. Nobody wants to get in the Christmas tree growing, and so then you're going to have a shortage out there of that.
McShaw says businesses are doing the best they can with what they have.
What we have seen really in the community is an increase in testing and in positive cases.
ThedaCare Vice President for Primary Care, Mark Thiel, says the hospital is busy with COVID-19 testing. To keep up with demand, ThedaCare set up mobile testing sites around the Fox Valley through September. The first stop was Monday in Menasha.
We could actually go where the pockets of cases were, and we could increase the level of capacity within those pockets.
Thiel says COVID-19 isn't just spreading close to the clinic's scheduled spots.
To be honest, I think all of our communities are really seeing an uptick.
You need to schedule an appointment with ThedaCare to get a COVID-19 test. ThedaCare has allocated 350 rapid tests and 350 PCR tests daily for each location.
Last week, we had several days where we had tested over 1,000 people per day.
Emergency physician at Bellin Health, Dr. Brad Burmeister, says the hospital has adequate testing supply for the amount of people coming in.
School starting kind of in correlation with the uptick in testing?
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing an increase in kids who are infected with COVID-19 and seeking tests.
Burmeister says many workplaces and travel destinations require tests too. Thiel says he encourages people to keep up with the testing, especially if you have symptoms.
It sort of serves as a scout as to what we should be able to expect, and allows us to prepare our systems for potential increases in hospitalizations.
On the surface, Greenbay's waterfront offers beautiful views. But below the surface, the water is a complex ecosystem that Cellcom and UW-Greenbay are diving in to study.
We're putting up a brand new network, and the network specializes in, it is specially designed to collect small amounts of data from devices that use very little power.
Cellcom will be placing 7 receivers along the mouth of the bay on both sides, which will send data to buoys created by UW-Greenbay that will have technology to study dead zones in the lake.
Can measure the temperature all the way from the surface down to the bottom of the water column. There's dissolved oxygen, algal pigments, turbidity. So there's a whole suite of standardized or fairly standard water quality parameters that people will look at.
Mike Zorn is an associate dean with the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology at UWGB. He says this project offers students a chance to collaborate and study data in real time.
That allows a lot more things to happen, like you can see changes more quickly. We can even incorporate it into a website, for example.
The goal is to finalize the design of the buoys over the winter months and then drop 2 of them in the bay by the spring.
Greenbay is kind of unique where it's big enough that it's a large system that there's a lot of complexity, but it's also small enough that we can there are things that we can control.
As for Cellcom, Bob Webb, the Vice President of Innovative Operations, says the receivers offer technology they hope to expand on using in the future.
Technology will allow us to lead the city through Smart City, work with the county through monitoring things like ice levels on the road and things like that.
It's still unknown when Afghanistan refugees will arrive in the Fox Valley and how many there will be. But regardless, World Relief Fox Valley is getting ready to welcome them with open arms.
When we have the opportunity to welcome people, one of the first things they say is, we're safe. So we know that we're welcoming them into a safe environment and then helping to establish so they have much opportunity and can really develop full and abundant lives here.
This isn't the World Relief Fox Valley's first rodeo. Since 2012, the organization has helped refugees make the Fox Valley their home. But with that comes a lot of work.
These people are leaving their homeland, the country that they love, some at a moment's notice. We heard that after the bombing at the Kabul airport, people were coming with only the shirts on their backs.
As a team, World Relief Fox Valley will help line up landlords, interpreters, and make sure refugees have all of their basic needs tended to. It's after that when other agencies and organizations will play a role in making a difference in the lives of these refugees.
When we put ourselves in their shoes, we see challenges to be very daunting, and it sometimes is frustrating from a refugee standpoint.
Something as simple as grocery shopping or going to see a doctor or even getting a driver's license to us can be a world of hurdles in the eyes of refugees. That's where the Ahmadiyya Muslim community comes together to help.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Oshkosh will be assisting Afghanistan refugees coming to the Fox Valley. But in actuality, the community here has been helping all refugees for years.
The families that just moved in, they had everything, but we went in and brought them basic spices, basic meat, those groceries, and then take them to the next step to say, okay, now how do you fish for yourself?
Working with refugees has made me realize how much I take for granted, how much I have, how privileged my life is. So I think it's given me a sense of appreciation for what I have.
In the